Hey everyone, I'm a stand-up coach in New York City, and today we're talking about different ways to use the audience and awareness when you work with the audience. So I've broken it down into a photo like this of a comic with a bunch of people of varying happiness, anger, sadness to them. It's not as simple as this. In the real world, it sort of looks like this. Like in this audience, one of these people will get kicked out of the show. One of these tables will stop listening to the show and have their own conversation, and the rest of the audience, ooh boy, will be absolutely amazing. It is there's a lot of interesting information with regards to a sea of faces, and you are already performing, and you also have to break down what is what. Okay, but we're simplifying it. We're just doing stick figures for now. Okay. So the first phase of audience awareness is you have no audience awareness. So things are happening and you are just, I am just saying words. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm not reacting at all. I'm purely performative as a comic. And of course, we label that as unaware. It's not the best, but everyone starts somewhere, so no worries at all. If something big happens in the audience, you will miss the opportunity to make comedy out of it, and if there's tensions in the audience, you won't be able to resolve them to just continue getting the jokes you already planned. Okay. Next, you might be choosing to perform. You hear something in the audience, you're aware of the things in the audience, but you are choosing to ignore them because you don't know what to do with them yet. But you are at least aware of them, and you're deciding to stay sort of unaware. It's a higher level of awareness. This is choosing to be performative. Level one. Oh, we've unlocked the idea that the audience is there with us. Okay. Great. We're moving right along. And then, oh boy, you've gotten a little bit further. You notice the audience reacts to you, and you can react to their reaction. Now, you only take them as one giant entity. They have one personality that is shared between them that you're reacting to, as if you're talking to one person. Well, and then now you can react. Great. Now you can maybe resolve some tensions. You can comment on how they feel about jokes. If they really like something, you can go further into it and react to their actions. Get extra gold out of your jokes. Okay, marvelous. You're not just performing anymore. You're conversing. You're playing. Ooh, boy, you're moving right along. And then, as your awareness opens up even more, you'll notice that there are different subgroups, as you can see. This table at the top, maybe they're speaking to the waitress, or maybe they're absolutely drunk. So they are TKO. There's no need to deliver a punchline in that direction because it's like delivering it to a brick wall. There will be no reaction because you can feel that silence from them, and you've maybe tested it out. Something might be happening in the middle of the crowd where people are angry. So if you poke the bear, it may exacerbate that situation, so you play to this bottom audience that are happy and loving you, and you maybe put in feelers, but you notice that there are these different dynamics in the audience. Hey, great, you've now unlocked different groups of the audience that you can leverage against each other. Ooh, boy, you're playing with tools. Amazing. The next level, of course, every individual in the crowd is having their own experience. There might be someone having fun at this table full of drunkies at the top. So they're all drunk, and one guy's like, hey, okay, go, I'm having fun, but I'm drunk. Similarly, at the tables that are having fun, there might be one person that's sour that you can pull out and join them with their friends. Very easy to turn them. Okay. When you start to notice this, hey, you're playing with people on the individual level. Now, you might ask me, William, is the goal to stop at level 4 at the individual level? And it is not. That is not the penultimate way we should. It is the penultimate way. It's not the ultimate way we should be playing with the crowd, in my opinion. In my opinion, we should be leveraging whichever one of these is needed in the moment. It's a different way to arbitrarily label the audience and draw a circle around them and say, okay, here's the in-group and here's the out-group, and we're commenting on the out-group as the in-group. And there's different advantages to all of these. So the goal is to be in this sort of like flexible pile where you can do whatever you want. I will show you a clip of that in a second of leveraging these in rapid succession. So going back to the example from my show on Friday, boom, here's the crowd, right? Overall, they were enjoying the show. So we had a very good show for them. We were pitching jokes. The jokes would serve us well, but we had to navigate a lot of weird waters to get to them that part. For example, this is the general vibe. This table on the far left, they wanted to have fun, but they wanted to have fun on their terms. They're like, dildo, tits, look at my tits. Oh, our friend over here, he sucks wieners, say his name and say that he sucks wieners. Really in the middle of performance. And so we would have to find our times to be like, oh yeah, Matt sucks wieners. Yeah, we all, Matt, oh, that guy, walk. And it would cool them down and would contain their energy, but also use them in a way that the rest of the crowd could laugh at them. This middle section, absolutely loving the show. This back section, absolutely loving the show. And this table in the middle got drunk AF and just had their own conversations and kind of disappeared from the show. That's fine. They weren't being overly rowdy, so we'll let them vibe the way they want to. They paid very good money to come see the show. Okay. Then on top of that, there were individuals at this rowdy table. Oh, Matt, who's getting like, hey, say Matt sucks penis. He was slowly getting more and more unenamored with the show. He actually got kicked out at the end because he started to try to like rush the stage and become part of the show. We were mentioning him a lot of times, so he felt a little bit emboldened by that. And so that was us flying too close to the sun of wanting to use his group's naughty, overly selfish energy, and it emboldened him to feel like he's a known entity in the room, so why shouldn't he be on stage? Which, big no-no when you try to just walk on stage in the middle of a show. There was a birthday girl in this middle table and her two best friends who were really sort of like known entities in the show. We called one of the birthday girls up, so she was known. We could leverage her at any moment. The crowd knew who she was. Similarly, while this table was mostly drunk down here, there was the birthday boy who was sitting in front and actually paying attention. So when we wanted a good positive experience, we could reference, oh, hey, yeah. Oh, man, it's Matt's birthday. Oh, yeah, one more shout for Matt. And we could galvanize this table a little bit from the drunkiness. Finally, we had some people in back that were visiting from Canada and another birthday party in the far back right. I remember all these people individually because we made individual moments for them in the show to keep their groups paying attention and to leverage all of the different ways to play with the audience. So it wasn't just us treating the audience as one entity the entire time. We would play with their groups. We'd galvanize their groups by mentioning the individual. The individuals would feel connected, and the groups would feel like they wanted to celebrate their individual. Then the whole crowd would react to these pockets of the groups, and then we could find sections where we could get the busy work of the show done because we'd, pacified all the babies, so to speak. Okay. Now, what does this look like in action? You may be wondering as I finally turn chat back on. Sorry to turn chat off for a second, but I wanted this YouTube edit. So this is one of my best clips that I have an example of me leveraging the different layers of audience in rapid succession.
But on a bad day, do people like me? Great, you just ruined my joke. That's my best friend. Let's take that back. But on a bad day, like when someone ruins your big joke, do people like me? No. No one does. And you can't check, it's 4 a.m. You can't text, do you like me at 4 a.m.? I know I tried. You just ruined this setup of the next. What are you guys doing? Okay, let's take it back. Thank you, Emily. Okay, here we go. We remember where we were? Okay. My friends, you can't text that at 4 a.m. I know, I've tried. You also can't text that at 4 p.m. See, ruined joke. There was even a double follow-up here where I go, anyone not laughing is getting a text tomorrow. Maybe next laughter party. Okay, great. Okay, great. Do you guys want to be my friends? Okay. So even when my thoughts...
Okay. So there's a lot of individual pieces, and at this point I was doing it instinctually. I did not have the language to break it down as solidly as I do now. This was two-ish years ago. I think 2.5 years ago. Let's break down the different dynamics as far as the crowd. So I'm in performing mode. I'm trying to set up a theatrical element by building a very real tension here.
People like me.
All right, it's kind of performative. I'm kind of in my head. Great, and then someone took the bait. One of my friends, unfortunately, took the bait and wanted to pay off the tension. Okay, so now I have to address him as an individual because he's made himself a light as an individual. Going back to the slides, he was acting as an individual. I was performing. I was in movie mode. An individual commented, which caused attention for the group. So then I had to talk to the actual individual. I had to address it. Okay, keep going.
Great, you just ruined my joke. That's my best friend. Let's take that back.
Great, so that's my best friend. That is to the group, and let's take that back. I've now singled out one person as an in and out group, but I've said, okay, but now we're going to take that back. I'm talking to you now, not to that individual. To resolve the tension of, is this a moment for us or is this a moment for everyone? Yes, also, look, do I like this moment? I do not like that I have to do this moment rather than do my material. But I need to resolve the tension. So I am smiling and trying to be like, oh, you rapscallion. Oh, you naughty little child. I really wish it's fine, but I wish you hadn't done this. So that if I had hit it more angry, I would not have been able to resolve it as adeptly. Okay, so this is me going back into performance mode. This is me sort of like, okay, let me be a movie and do rewinding and make a premise of me rewinding the bit. So I'm once again, I'm leveraging. There's already too much interaction happening. I need to shut things down while I queue up re-entering this moment. So that's why I'm becoming a movie instead of continuing to address people on the individual. I'm doing this instinctively right now. I don't have a lexicon to play as skillfully as I would now.
But on a bad day, like when someone ruins your big joke?
Right? You see, I use one side of the crowd and I leverage it against that individual again.
Do people like me? No. No one does. And you can't check, it's 4 a.m. You can't text, do you like?
And just for, once again, theatricality, you see how I'm peppering these punchlines throughout the whole crowd instead of most people just deliver front and center in one spot. Okay, to be more feral in the room and to keep people at the edge of their seats so they don't feel as safe because they know that the eye of observation might be on them in a second.
Like me at 4 a.m.? I know, I tried. You ruined the joke, it's still good. You just ruined this setup of the next. What are you guys doing?
Oh, okay, so once again, an individual has interrupted. I have to address the individual, and then I go right back to the crowd. I'm like, what is happening here? So sort of like I am feeling the perceived emotion that I see the crowd doing. So I'm trying, instead of speaking to the one person, I'm trying to not make it overindulgent between me and him, that personal dynamic, and make it for group consumption. Because people are going to be wondering about that, and if I just talk to him, it would create a bigger tension in the room that would be growing. Okay,
let's take it back. Thank you, Emily. Okay, here we go. Do you remember where we were? Okay, my friends.
Right, and then I'm checking in on the different subsections. This group of table on the left had I think they were friends of one of the other comedians, but they were a group that had spoken up and done some bit by themselves. So that's why I'm treating them as their own separate thing. They had been referenced as a subgroup of their own earlier in the night. So the rest of the audience knew that they were like the basketball team or whatever. So they were a known subgroup outside of the big group of the entire audience. So I'm going back. I'm treating them as a smaller group because I know I can, as if I need different dynamics to leverage against these two individuals that have interrupted my set.
You can't text that at 4 a.m. I know, I've tried. You also can't text that at 4 p.m. See, ruined joke.
Right, and I do the see ruined joke back at the individual because I'm leveraging that dynamic, which was set up with that one person.
There was even a double follow-up here where I go, anyone not laughing is getting a text tomorrow. Maybe next after party. Okay, great. Okay,
so this is me shutting it down. Once again, if you embolden individuals too much, like we did on my show on Friday, they start to feel like, oh, I've gotten away with pressing a button and interrupting the show once. Maybe I can get away with doing it again. Maybe it's partially about me. And so at some point, you have to be a little heavy-handed. Otherwise, the interruptions will just keep going, unless you then want to make it a duo performance. But you are the professional comedian, so handing over that much control to an audience member is rarely the right decision unless they are a true character.
Okay, great. Do you guys want to be my friends? Because we're not.
All right, so I go back to that subgroup.
Okay. So even when my...
Great. And look, this was 2.5 years ago. I don't like my transition. I don't like my. You can see that I go so I lower the energy and I clearly break from this fun moment where the audience is applause breaking me to go into something else. So if this was me now, I would have kept that energy up into the next thing instead of making it such a hard break. I can give myself a little bit of leeway in that I do want to de-emphasize the interrupting part of the set is over. So I might have a little bit of an excuse to hard break for that, so the audience does feel like, okay, we're back to business as usual instead of anyone shout anything time. But the important thing is that is me instinctually, so I could do it better today, playing with these different dynamics of who am I labeling as the in-group, who am I labeling as the out-group, because it allows us to create tensions and resolve tensions. I have to speak to these individuals when they call out, but if I speak to them individually for too long, then the group is like, is this said about them? Well, what about us? So I have to keep contextualizing it for the big group. But as soon as I break it down to some individuals, we aren't one big group anymore, so I can use some subgroups that the audience knows to leverage subgroup versus individual. And then if I need everything to shut down, I can make a big bit that is performative, which was me rewinding things so that no one else will speak in a moment. So I have more control while I decide which one of these to do. A lot of comics do this instinctually. I like that I'm putting explicit words around it so we can do it intentionally. And in those moments when we have to really lean hard on these dynamics, we know exactly which levers to pull instead of like, I think the lever's over here, I think the lever, and I think it can go this far. No, we have it defined for ourselves. We know it cognitively, so fairly we can play with it better, is the thing. Okay, so there's stuff in Instagram chat. Let me just pop up real fast. Question for later. Question for later. At my monthly shows, I get a bit of table talk, but it's usually not malicious, and the people are just ordering drinks or food. I want to address and tell them to be quiet, but I want to be polite and funny. Any advice? So one of the hardest things with regards to like, look. If you look at this picture from my show on Friday, our waitress is speaking to a table, and the business of stand-up is the lifeblood is usually drinks and food from the venue. And on top of that, the audience has been told to speak to the waiter. The waiter has been like, hey, do you guys want anything? This is permission for you to speak in this room. So like anything we do to make it rude that they're talking to the waiter, or they're like, hey, what should we want for drinks? Because they do get a little bit of permission then. It's a hard sell, especially because. So Batsu, for example, we tell the crowd this is a rage, this is a bacchanal, go as crazy as you want, and we mean go as crazy, but in a polite theater way as possible. We're gonna be drunk and we're gonna shout, and when there's the time to shout, but the audience doesn't know where that line in the sand is. So similarly, when we're talking about the audience making noise to order their drinks and discuss a little bit about themselves, they don't know what some people are like, okay, yeah. Let me order my drink. Some people are just, maybe they think they're being quiet, but generally their voice is operatic like mine, and so they can visibly be heard, audibly be seen on stage, and so they don't know they're committing a faux pas. They're just doing what the room told them. So if we're like, oh, you're being loud, they can be like, but the wait staff told me to order, and I had to order, talk to my friends. So it's one of those things where I think if you can address it up top in a way that doesn't single people out, it's like, hey, we're going to be getting food and drink. Make sure we don't go, hey, can I get some wine? Can I get some beer? Can I get some enchiladas? All great orders, by the way, but make sure we get that wine, get that beer, and get that enchilada. So if it is a habitual problem, you might want to have the host make a bit about it up top so that the individuals don't feel singled out. Because as soon as the crowd feels like the show has pointed at them and been naughty in front of all these people, you naughty, well then similarly, we have made them an out group. We've made the rest of the crowd an in group of polite people, and then we've made them basically the naughty individuals that were too loud. And so they can no longer have as good communion catharsis because they've sort of been labeled in the show as the naughty kids. And that can cause people to act out. That can cause people to get emboldened, so they eventually get kicked out of the show. So look, if someone's like, I would like a beer, you could, if you need to escalate, be like, hey, I will also have a beer on their tab as well. And hey, if you're ordering loud enough for me to hear, I'll throw a drink on there. Or we could even do it nicely about like, oh, he's having a beer, I'll buy that beer for him. If he promises to be quiet for me, deal, brother. Like there are ways to resolve it, but I would always watch out before you get too much, especially at the beginning of the show, of singling someone out, because it can just get dangerous. Would it make sense to try and plan orders between acts when the host comes, giving breathing space, or is that? I mean, it's ideally the crowd gets in there before the show starts, and so as the host is warming people up, the wait staff. I mean, there's a reason that a host set is more talking to the crowd than actual material. Because presumably, that's when the waiters are doing first call of like, hey, welcome, I'm your waiter, this is what you're doing. The host is actively talking to the crowd, so there is more permission for this active conversation to be happening all around the room. Part of that as cover for the wait staff, part of that to get to know the audience, and part of that to welcome people in from the busy day into getting their mindset to a show. If we hard stop to be like, we will only order drinks between comedians, it depends on your vibe. If you're doing a 3-hour marathon, hey, very easy to maybe do that if it's just like a hey, chill as long as you want sort of type deal. If it's like Batsu, where it's a 1.5 hour show, we're trying to get as much food and drink as possible from you, and then get you out so we can get the the 10 o'clock show in here. We don't have as much luxury. So there are ways to make it work. Ideally, we can play inside the constraint. At least in it's easy to say that, but everyone has different specifics. I would ask the waiter what they think about that order. Yeah, the one problem was like, also watch out, because like if we let the waiters want to be friends with the patrons. They want good tips, and if anything happens in the room, they want to be able to settle it more nonchalantly. As soon as you say, hey, it's me and waiter against you, me and waiter have inside joke against you, once again, you're leveraging in and out groups, and you're saying me and waiter are one in group, and your party is another in group, and we're separate. And that kind of puts the waiter or the wait staff or waiter or waitress or whatever in a hard position, because one, they're not in control, and then two, you've created a bunch of dynamics. She host can ask them to listen to her performing a set. If not, there's a high chance host might be taking orders for his living if the set doesn't go well. The one thing I would caution against that, Muhammad, is especially up top, anything that implies that the set might not go well creates this micro tension from the audience of like, audiences a lot of times in comedy shows are like, is this going to go well? So if like, this might not go well, they might be like, I was thinking this might not go well. But then deeper in their mind, like, I didn't. This might not go well. Now I need the first joke to happen faster. Now I need the first comedian to be better to resolve this tension. There could be things like, hey, I'll get you. That order was 2 beers, 2 wines, and some hamburgers. It's a very good order. I love that order. But you're for the average audience member, that would maybe signal to them, hey, you're being loud. Hey, I'm doing it in a fun way. Hey, you're not being signaled out. But for like a raging narcissist or someone that is a really introvert, that could already be too far. So it's one of those things where it's hard to tell with regards to what is too far, given how touchy that audience group is. And because you have to deal with all sorts, I would err on the side of caution, especially when tickets are more expensive. In my show, in this show, people are, one second, where's it? In this show, people are paying $70 to $80 for a ticket. So we don't want to be like, hey, you dumb fuck. Hey, stop being a fuck, you fuck. Yeah, all these people laugh at this fuck who paid $80 then plus $100 for food to be here. Yeah, you fuck. You enjoying your time, you fuck. And look, I'm being aggressive with it, but even being like, hey, look at him, look at him, he's doing a thing, look at him, like that could ruin some people's days. Like, that's the, I don't know if I'm kind of dancing around the question, but those are some like, I don't know, some best practices. Okay, if you guys are still watching, this is for the YouTube edit. If you're still watching and you have questions about how to interact with the crowd, how to leverage different in and out groups, hey, leave them down in the comments. Happy to answer any questions. Or if you have clips you'd recommend where comedians do this really well, leveraging these different dynamics, would love to have more examples. Give us a like. Give us a comment, give us a subscribe, join the live streams, always a wonderful community, and more videos should be popping up now. Hey. Hopefully you are a happy face and not one of the frowny faces.